Howdy and welcome to Sunburnt Gaming. Today we're continuing our Mage the Awakening campaign set in 1920 Sydney, but because of some odd scheduling, we have decided to have this session just be going over the awakenings of each of the characters, rather than immediately continuing on with the adventure. We begin with the origin of Kenneth, or Snake Eyes, though they do not have the title Snake Eyes yet. So Kenneth at this stage is, you said they were not part of the gang yet, but they make their money from gambling. They make their living.
An unreliable income.
Yes. One part of this is that they are, at this time of the story, trying to develop a system, in quotation marks, to win at the horse races. A very, very reliable thing that many gamblers have attempted and generally fails, because that's not how it works.
What do you mean?
You're watching, you're trying to develop a system, you're trying to take into account different things, and as you do, you begin to notice that every race that a horse named Radium is in seems to be struck with at least one moment of bad luck for whichever horse was most likely to win.
That's interesting.
Before the race, during the race, but like whichever horse you'd expect to win, they get some bad luck thing. As long as Radium is in there.
Alright. That's very odd.
But you notice this pattern and you're able to put it into your system.
Yep, never bet on those ones.
Which gets you like a bit more money as you refine the system. And it starts to actually win. You end up getting like a lot more money than you normally would. Would you end up spending that money on like splurging on finer clothes or better meals?
Most definitely, yes. Because if I don't spend it on that, it's going to be spent on the gambling, so...
Yeah, so you're having this sort of windfall, and it seems to be just getting better and better. The patterns you're seeing are getting more and more accurate and precise. And then, during the middle of one horse race starts, the gunshot goes off, starter pistol, and it feels like time blinks. And you feel like immediately, like you've woken up from a dream. Everyone around you is frozen in anticipation. But the horses start going. You see horses of magnificent colours striding through what seems to be a misty version of the field. And then, in the time it takes for you to just go have a moment of recognition of what's happening, and this, like, I assume you're confused at first.
Definitely. I'm questioning what was in my drink I just had.
You see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of races in a blink of an eye, then suddenly you have winnings in your hand, and the races are over.
Okay. Yeah, well, I have the money, that's the main thing, I guess. I think they'd be having a mild panic attack at this point, and looking around in confusion at everyone else, almost going up to someone and saying, "Did you just see how I won this money?"
As you go to do that, you go to show them the money, and the notes that you have in your hand, they seem to be like made of, they're still paper money, but they're still notes. They seem to be made of silver.
Well, probably worth more then.
The people before you, they seem to just like act as if they're recording. Like they seem like they're just following a routine.
Oh, okay. Well, this is most unusual. Do I notice anything or anyone around that is not following the routine?
Yeah, there appears to be a kid with pointed ears wandering around. They've got that bit of like kid excitement, not watching where they're going.
I'm gonna go up to them.
When you do, they seem to run away, and with a blink of an eye, they're gone.
I yell, "Kid, wait up!" And then I start running, and then they disappeared, and I'm like, maybe this is all a dream.
And as you say that, it feels like you've woken up again, and the starter pistol goes off. You're in the same position you were before. The same thing happens. You see hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of races. Then immediately have your winnings in hand. Everyone is repeating what they were doing. But the kid is... you see them again, and they're going a different path.
Okay. I guess I try and catch them again.
Okay. Are you just going to try and go with just pure speed?
Just for now, I'm gonna use speed.
Okay.
They're just a kid. I should be able to catch them. Hold on a second. They've disappeared.
So, you go to grab them. And I'm going to say you do actually succeed. You end up grabbing them by the arm. They look up at you, and and you see that their hand, like as they're trying to like sort of wrestle out of your arm, they drop something, and it looks like they drop various silver coins, as if they'd just pickpocketed some of the people in the crowd.
Okay, that's an honest living. Fine.
And they say, let them go, and everyone around you seems to be completely ignoring and oblivious to this, stuck in their routine.
Hey kid, what's going on? Why, like, there's some really crazy stuff, and you seem like the only person who's not affected by it.
With a very high-pitched voice that I will not do.
Oh, come on.
They are going to say that you stiffs are meant to just watch the races. What are you, like, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't think you're meant to be here.
I'm at the races all the time. I don't know what you mean. Look, do I still have the money in my hand?
Yes.
So look, I've won some money somehow, and I don't even know how. I make sure they don't steal it, by the way.
I think their eyes go wide. I can, his demeanor changes, and he stops resisting. It's like, I think I know something that could help.
Oh, really? Now? Yeah, I see how this goes. Well, kid, any information you give me would be appreciated.
There's a place just around the corner, down some of the streets. We got a game going.
A game? What kind of
Yeah,
game?
just a game of you play marbles?
Sure, sometimes. I play whatever.
Oh, good. Yeah, me and the lads, we play some marbles, and there's a prize. Prize that seems to be able to do anything. You win that, you might be able to, figure out what's going on.
Okay, kid. I want to see if they're lying. Is there something I can do to check that?
So during these awakening scenes, I'm probably not going to use the standard dice rules and stuff. I'm just going to say if you succeed or fail at stuff.
Yep.
Just because a lot of people's character sheets incorporate elements that happened after their awakening.
Makes sense.
Especially Jandal and Domino. Domino has like 3 or 4 dots of science they got from mage sighting things and zooming in with their eyeballs.
You're getting rid of the best part of the game.
Oh god. Okay, if you want to roll...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So... Yeah, I'm gonna say when he speaks, you're like trying to listen for deception and things like that. And every word they say just feels like raw truth.
Okay, that's it.
It might not be the whole truth, but it is all truth.
So, okay, kid, you show me this place, and I'll give you one of these nice shiny little notes here.
You got yourself a deal.
That was agreed to too quickly. This is what I'm thinking. Should have not offered a whole note or something. Anyway, it's too late now.
So they take you out of this stadium, which is probably like now as you go through it, you're seeing like the world doesn't look as it previously did. And the further you get from this horse track, the weirder it looks. It's like when you step out, you find yourself in still what looks to be maybe Sydney, but a heavy mist cloaks the land. You can see a lot of people seem to be changing their age with each step. A lot of people have elfin ears. A lot of people are very short. A lot of things, when you look at them, you have a moment of seeing all the possible, like your brain just goes, oh, there's all the different ways that could play out. And then you're back to where you were. Like you see a car driving and it reaches a crossroads and suddenly you see it possibly driving in all directions. And then suddenly it picks one.
I'll ask my little friend here. You know, can you see that all happening as well? You know, with the whole, I don't know, different parks and seeing it kind of before it even happens?
Someone's pretty normal around here.
Oh, okay, good. Yep. Yeah, okay.
They look at you like with that, they're like with the eyebrow raised, the look that Spock would give someone, like that just sort of slight confusion and just, but also curiosity. Like, yeah, this is totally normal for him apparently. Takes you down an alleyway between the buildings. A short little dirt road. Then, as you're walking, the mist seems to get heavier, and the buildings, like in between blinks, you see them as if they were crumbled and destroyed, and then there was a different building there, and it just seems to keep doing that.
Well, it's probably normal as well around here. Yep, okay.
Finally, this road opens into a wider point where you can see some of the other kids running around. They're all boys, and they're all playing marbles. At least today.
Do I see anything about what the prize might be?
So, one tall one person who doesn't look like they are like one of the kids. They appear to be maybe early 20s. They appear to be wearing very fancy clothes. All the kids, they're wearing what you'd expect from, I wouldn't say a street kid, but like not too well off. Like the sort of kid who's doing pickpocket.
Yeah.
This guy, he looks very well off. He looks immensely swanky. He's got a monocle and everything.
Okay.
He appears to be holding what looks to be an 8-sided die.
I might just approach if he's open to that.
You start to walk. The kid pulls on your jacket. Says, "Hey, we had a deal."
Yeah. I give him one of the notes.
He pulls it and stretches it to make sure it's real and bites into it. It's like someone biting into gold.
Yep. Completely normal. And I say, oh, thanks for your help, kid. You gonna play marbles?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I'll give you a bit of a challenge. And he goes back to biting the note.
I'll leave him to that. I walk over to the main guy with the magic D8. Or whatever.
Okay. With a very pompous voice, "Are you another challenger?"
Sounds like I am. In this odd place, but the one thing I know is that I'm good at games and I love playing. But would be a bit interested to know about that prize, because that to me doesn't look like cash. Don't know how it could help me out of this situation.
This is an artifact of great power. Something I offer to the children to keep them from staying out of trouble.
So you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart then?
Oh no, you see, the Hansel children, the Hansel gamblers, if you let them run wild, the fate of the gamblers shall become wild itself. Best to keep them amused.
Right, well, you mind if I join as well? Be interested in winning that?
course, any gambler can enter.
I'm
You
most
just
certainly
need to
one of
give me
those.
your name so I can write it down.
I provide my last name.
You provide your last name, and suddenly, a marble appears in your hand.
I want to peer very closely in it. Does it look like a normal marble?
It appears to be completely normal, except your name is written inside of it, and when you look at it, it hurts your head slightly to look at the name. Like your brain's trying to fill in a blank. Like you can see the words, but they're not being passed. It's like a word in another language, mate. But you nearly understand.
I'm getting a headache now, so if this isn't real, I might be coming down. Anyway, I'm gonna win this.
You begin to play. You do start to win. You're doing very well at marble. As you are playing, you begin to feel like this is still during the contest. You begin to feel like you're being watched, and if you look up between all the buildings that are in this sort of middle area, up above, you see a 3-foot tall golden orb spider hanging above you in a giant
Oh god.
waiting patiently.
Guess it's not any more abnormal than everything else that's happening. Well,
Do you continue to play?
I think so. I want to win. I'm gonna get that D8, not knowing what a D8 is. But it's something that other people want, as far as I know.
You've been told it can do miracles and fix the situation.
Which is what I need right now.
Yes. You do end up beating all the challenges. All the fellow challengers.
Those kids didn't stand a chance against me.
Pompous man bestows upon you this small, weird rock that is 8-sided, and suddenly the different alleyways that lead to this rounded area all seem to lead to a silver tower. You can just suddenly see, as if it was always there, this silver tower.
Well, we're gonna thank the guy, and also say, if you have any other games on, let me know. I'll be very interested.
He tips his hat.
I'll be seeing you, and I'm
I'm
heading
not
to
even
that.
sure if he had a hat before.
Heading to that tower now. See you around.
And as you find yourself at this great tower, you begin to understand, and actually, as you walk to it, your mind seems to simply just understand what all this was more and more, until you find yourself at the foot of it, and you know that you must sign it in some way.
Well, I have I search my pockets. Do I have like maybe a poker chip or something?
Yeah.
And it's like, while it doesn't really make sense, try and like carve my name into it, little etchings with the ship
Okay.
to sign it.
Once you do, you find yourself on the exit of an alleyway, back in normal Sydney. You are now a mage of the Acanthus Path. You are attuned to Arcadia and have power over fate and time.
Nice. Time to walk around with mage sight on for a bit to see what's
Yes.
going on.
And I will say that soon after, you find yourself found by one of the guardians of the Vale, who was watching you during your awakening. A woman who is like her vibe is a parkour assassin.
Oh god.
But so that can be slightly intimidating. But her name is Nephilia, and she found you during your awakening. Basically watched you in case any seers came, so she could prevent people from messing with your awakening. And she tells you the basic gist of what Mage Society is, what just happened to you. Told you about the different orders, and then you find out, okay, well, this one doesn't, the assassin one doesn't really sound right for me. But this social one, the Silver Ladder, that aligned to do a lot more, and that is how you're.
Oh no. You cut out for me on story, I think was going to be the word.
Oh no. All I said was, and your story. That's where your story began.
I thought that's what you were gonna say. It was either that or ends, and that would be really worrying, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you are an acanthus, so that's sort of timey-wimey bullshit. Like, would be a valid situation. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that little dream sequency thing.
Good. Yes.
Uh,
But I didn't
no,
get to roll anything.
no.
Wait. Yeah, I should have rolled the d8. Anyway, it's too late now.
So, Andrew is going to go through their awakening next. You will soon to become Domino.
Yes.
So you're at your house.
Yes.
This small building. It's not too
It's
big.
pretty like a 2-bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're having a relatively normal night. Maybe you're cooking.
Yes.
Just
Cooking, just getting ready, eventually relax. After the days at the factory.
Yep, makes sense. And you're relaxing. You've just finished, and then suddenly, I'd say it's middle of summer, so maybe sometime in January for you. Suddenly, the fireplace lights up.
What?
Like, it's definitely too hot a night for it to be on before. Like, you don't have any memory of setting, but now you hear the whoosh. It's there.
No, because I'm gonna try to put it out. Best getting water from the. We have taps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started gathering water from into a bucket.
As you go to do that, just before you throw the water,
Mhm.
you know how the brain simply finds patterns of things.
Yeah.
Face on. You see a face peer out of the swirls of light in the fire.
Hmm.
And then you see arms stretch out from the flame.
I dropped the bucket and try to step back. What?
The arms continue to stretch out until it starts to reach outside of the fireplace onto some of the wooden boards, which then ignite.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm good. Okay, I made a mistake dropping that bucket. I'm just gonna try to get more.
Okay, as you do this, the fire spreads, your heart beats, the smoke begins to fill the room, chaos is beginning to start, the ceiling has ignited now, and suddenly something happens in your mind. As you're looking at the water pour, you begin to see the individual chemical elements of the water. Suddenly, you can see their motion, and every single individual, as the water hits the surface of the container and has the slight rebound, kinetic, and that flow of how things are properly to move. Looking around, you can see the points where fire is. You can see that chemical reaction. You can see the exact flow of all the motion of the air as the oxygen is being eaten by the fire. You can see where the flame will grow and.
I'm mesmerized, but I still need to get out of here. How's it looking towards the exit?
I'm going to say that the exit is currently the main exit to your house. You could probably still get to it without too much trouble. Is some fire over there?
Yep.
But as you see the flow, you see that you're intended to go that way somehow. Like, you can see your kinetic energy has a flow towards that, but something seems off about it. Because you can also see that the flow of fire is directly in that way, and that if you follow that path, that if your kinetic energy goes in the way that it's expected, you will find yourself in the path of the flames.
I mean, I just believed I can get there faster, though.
Okay. As you run.
Yep,
You're just
I'm
gonna
running.
try and go as much speed as you can.
Yep. I'll just do a dice roll to see if I get that. See how this goes.
Well, I'm currently not using dice rolls, just a speed situation.
Okay, yeah. So I just run towards the exit, thinking I can outpace the fire. Can I see like how the like the speed of these energies?
You can see the exact speed of everything.
Yes.
You can see like you instinctively are understanding the exact like meters per second of everything.
How fast is my energy compared to the fire?
It is not enough.
Oh.
But as you go along that path,
Yes.
and as you're putting in all this speed, the motion around you, the flames, once they cover you, they seem to not do anything to you. You are fine.
What? Okay, I stop.
Feel their warmth on your flesh. And then you expect for the burn or something or pain, but you're fine. There's heat, but no burn on you. The fire is like, if you look down at the floorboards below you, you are standing in fire right now. Just in front of you is still some fire.
Just a fireplace again.
Sorry, did you say you look at the fireplace again?
Yeah, look at the fireplace. This is odd. What's happening with this fire?
The fireplace, currently, you see the face in it. It is laughing with glee, though is seemingly silent. You can see the laughter in its face. A face that has grown much larger than its original fireplace.
If I yell out, who are you? Does it respond?
You hear the roar of the inferno around you. It's mere chaos. But something in that chaos you understand instinctively in your very soul. You hear the very ideas and concepts, not words, of the plan. I am the plan succeeding.
Huh. Okay.
The building is now full of white smoke. The heat is all around you. Boards from the ceiling are falling. Walls are beginning to strain under the weight as they are getting weaker and weaker from the fire.
I'm going to be slowing down. I've come to realize this is what... if this is what has been planned, I might as well just give in to the fire. The fire does not hurt me. So I sit down and begin to understand the fire.
Okay. As you do this, the walls fall, everything collapses around, and it all seems that every single piece misses you. In the exact, if you had sat and even an inch away from where you were currently, you would probably get hit. Everything seems to fall around you perfect.
Right.
And once all the building is gone, everything is just burnt away, fallen to the ground. You see yourself in sort of a heavenly city of where all the buildings are temple,
Right.
especially Chinese temples.
Yes.
I've ever seen what's it called? The temple. Oh, I can't remember its name. Temple of Heaven?
I might just look it up. Right? Oh, this one. I'm familiar with this one. This is a good image. So this just in front of this one temple, right?
So it looks like that, the Temple of Heaven, and that's like a lot of the buildings rather than looking like Sydney.
That's
As you're looking around, you see these roads.
yes.
There are many pilgrims and petitioners walking down the street. Every now and then, you see a king in a carriage being driven by monks, and you can see you still have a flow of energy, of kinetic energy potential. Just further down the road.
I head towards it. That's where I need to go. It's where I'm fated to go.
You see many of these pilgrims and petitioners that you pass aren't following their true paths, and instead, it's like there's a friction that is eroding them away. Like a harsh wind. With every step they take against their proper path, as they go along these false paths, just a bit of them just wears away from friction heat.
Are they as a body just being eroded?
Yep, just maybe some of their clothes just gets a little more frayed. Maybe their skin gets just a bit more weathered, or a bit of a finger just crumbles away. But your path takes you elsewhere. As you follow it, the world gets more element. The road becomes pure gold. The sky becomes a luminous aurora. And you find yourself in a garden surrounded by a sort of like a most beautiful moat you have ever seen. Like, it is like a pond that is crystal clear, but acting sort of like a prism. And you can see rainbows, but there's no grime or dirt in the water at all. It is a beautiful blue, but also with this refracting light. And in the middle of this garden appears to be another temple.
Yep.
That reaches high into the sky. One made of gold.
Does my path take me here? Also, I do want to see if the plants themselves have the kinetic energies, or is there not even wind here?
As you go up to the trees, the winds rustle, and the more you pay attention to the motion of each leaf and the branches, the winds of the sky seem to grow and grow. And as in what's pretty short amount of time, the world gets louder and as the winds grow and grow. But it is still peaceful in this garden, like the eye of a storm. And as you look in the sky above, there is a cyclone in this garden.
I'm heading into the building. I need to clear out the cycle.
Within the building, this golden temple, at its very center is a pillar of fire. You know instinctively that you must sign it in some way. Tell the world who...
Sorry, what must I tell the world? Cut out for a minute.
Oh, my apologies. So, inside this golden temple is a pillar of solid fire. And you instinctively know in your very soul that you must sign it in some way. You must know who you are.
Okay. I try to touch the fire itself. Does it still hurt? Or does it just go through me?
I'm going to say you can feel a heat that you have never felt before. It is like what your brain would pass is like it's just could possibly imagine. But your body doesn't recoil.
In either case, with my hand still in, I declare who I am. Or who I was. So, Andrew Liu, resident of Sydney. Does it respond?
Yes. All that pillar of fire flows into you. And you find yourself back in normal Sydney, in the Chinese Garden of Friendship, a 45-year-old man quickly walks up to you as you're getting your bearings, and they seem to be the only person around who is Chinese.
Yeah.
They're a white man
Oh, yeah.
of some ethnicity. He says that he is the Storm Master, and he welcomes you to your new life.
What is my new life? Did you... are you familiar with how did I get here?
You've walked a new path known as the Aether, path of the Obramost, the mighty.
What?
You, forever now, will see the true face of raw elements, the true order behind everything.
What? I look over to the garden to just... if I see everything.
You are still in your mage sight, and you can see the world as it sort of should be, as you would understand as a mortal.
Yes.
But you can see the peace, you can see the flow, you can see some heat coming off people in a very precise, ordered flow of what mortals would consider, but you see as tension. Ordered system. The system that seems to be all chaotic, but everything has a purpose and is part of this great mechanism. And with that, I think we'll finish your awakening.
Yep.
This figure, Storm Master, you soon find is a member. They are actually also for Mage Society.
Were they also for?
They're a counselor. Like, they're part of one of the sort of legal leadership for Sydney.
I thought they were going to be like mentors. Introducing myself to mentors.
So you would might get mentored by them, but not in this scenario. You soon find that this individual in particular is actually shunned by the Arrow Society. Because they have they with a slight disappointed and saddened look on, explain to you about how they once believed the way of the warrior was the right path for them, but now, after having seen the horrors in the World War and they have sworn off violence and shunned by the Arrow.
Yeah, you drop your warrior path. Oops.
So you can go to him for guidance, and it's officially they're officially shunned. But everyone knows that he is a master of, like, he has a lot of wisdom, but he isn't meant to be an official mentor. Or he's got perverse ideas of passive.
So it's like you can go ask him for basically ideas on magic, but don't go to him for help or advice. Well, go for him advice, but don't ask him to do anything because he's going to do the wrong thing.
Well, it's just he's meant to be shunned and not seen as a true arrow anymore.
Yeah.
So you can ask him for any advice, but people aren't meant to encourage, and he shouldn't be an official mentor. But you can still be he'll do the best. Okay. So yeah, I think that is the first two awakenings of the group.
I did want to say, I'm about to leave, but you are cutting out relatively a lot, especially in the last couple of minutes.
Oh no.
That's why I think Random Nerd had to ask a couple of times to repeat, because you just cut off in the middle of words, and the next thing you know, you're on the next sentence, and we're like,
Oh, that's really... I'm gonna have to not use the session.
I thought you just re-record some things that you intended to say.
It wasn't terribly bad. The things that we didn't understand, we had to ask about, right? So
yeah.
But just letting you know, you might need to speak slower or something, maybe. then you lose less. I don't know.
No, it was slow speaking. It was just
But
I
even
think it just cut out.
slower. No, anyway, I gotta go. My ride
Okay.
is not here, which is making me nervous. But anyway, see you guys.
Yeah,
See ya.
that's very concerning.
We'll see how it
I
goes.
might disconnect and reconnect.
Sure.
Okay, I assume it'll be like 12 seconds before I have another issue.
Hopefully not, but
Okay, so we'll begin the awakening of Ernest Murphy
that's me.
before he became Experience. At the current time, you are in a drug den, as you might have expected.
I'm not surprised.
You and some others are getting high off heroin.
Let's go.
As you're doing this, a trusted friend who is a fellow addict comes in. Though unlike normal, they're wearing sunglasses. They're not normally wearing sunglasses, from your experience.
Is this the point where I should ask their name, or like, is it just like, oh yeah, that's your friend, and it's not going to come up again?
It's sort of up to you. I'd be fine with you coming up with a name, or I did not have a name originally because I came up with all of these last night. But we can say he's Jackson or something if you want.
I think I just cut out.
Oh, okay.
The opposite. You said last thing I heard was, oh yeah, you didn't come up with a name. I can come up with a name, and then I went to open notes and it just didn't really do anything. And I think that's the last thing I.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you could go with just like the name of Jackson or whatever, if you want. It's like the first name.
So his name is Jackson.
Yes.
Alright, Jackson. Fellow friend addict. There we go. I'm writing down notes now. I'll be a good person. I didn't write session 1 notes though.
So yeah, Jackson comes in. He is wearing sunglasses, unlike normal, especially in the dark of this den. He comes over, he seems to be trying to be hush-hush about it, whatever he's going to say. Doesn't want the other people in here to hear it. Hey Murph, I got something special.
Ooh, my ears are burning. I will perk up and say, like, okay, so he's being hush hush. I'll match the energy and be like, yeah, what does it look like today?
Something new we've never seen before. And he pulls out a little vial and he says, "This was made with the venom of some rare spider from out west. Let you see some wild stuff."
It just sounds like poison.
No. I mean, yeah, it is, but like it's been mixed, like diluted.
Right. I find it funny. It's like, yeah, I got this. It's gonna kill you. It's great. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I wouldn't do that to you. That would haunt me for my days.
Well, you know what? There's only one way to find out, right?
So he's hands you the needle.
Like right here, or
Yeah, just, I don't want you going loopy out on the street.
I guess, yeah. I'll flick it like any good drug addict knows how to. I definitely know the character. You can tell I am calling from experience. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're. I do find it funny that like, Danny is playing a gambler and she has no idea about gambling. You're playing this druggy person. We don't know anything about drugs.
I mean, I know some, but like, yeah, it's like, well, I don't know. The difference
We've
between
watched
that,
TV shows where people have had drugs.
yes, but the difference between like Danny and me, I find it funny because gambling is legal, and so that's like, you could just go for it.
Oh yeah, this is research. I just lost my house.
I needed to do it for Sunday.
Okay, so you successfully flick it to try to get rid of the bubble. Make sure there's no bubbles.
Yes,
Because you don't want to put air bubbles inside your bloodstream.
I do know that.
Once you take it, your heart rate grows, Your heartbeat gets more and more. You begin to take note of the blood flowing inside you. Everything seems to be getting hotter and hotter. The world around you begins to sort of melt and intermix.
Oh my god.
Like the lines between individual things blurs as the trippiness of the vision sort of sets in.
Right. Whoa, man.
Your friend's face drips off.
Oh my god.
Jackson's face is replaced with that of an Aboriginal man in a fine brown suit. And he seems to be the only thing that isn't intermixing and like blending with the environment.
Jackson?
Don't you worry. He takes off his sunglasses, puts it on your head, and speaks a word in a language you do not know, yet instinctively understand as the concept see from the world's view.
See from the world's view. I'm gonna write that down.
Suddenly, you find yourself plunged into a hellscape version of this den.
Oh god. So it's not that much different then. Got him.
The room grows and grows as the people, the addicts that are around, they seem to not just get blurred and mixed with whatever objects and scenery. They seem to be intermixed with you, and they start to take on the appearance of Murphy from like dark points in his life. And you also seem to take on some of their traits.
Okay.
The drops of saliva and sweat from the various addicts, as it drips down, they spatially seem to warp and get bigger and bigger until this cavern of a room has multicolored pools. When you look into them, you see memories, some of which seem to be your own from your more sedate life before you started doing any thrill seeking or drug having, though some of it seems to be also the memories of other people, maybe of the addicts themselves, but it still shows you in their place.
Right. Dark times.
The sound of your blood flow is nearly deafening now at this point. Cracks in the walls now appear to become like full pathways that stretch on into the dark. What do you do?
Oh, okay. I feel like curiosity is a little bit of a driver, and like, you know, obviously the deafening rush of the blood it's like very I guess active situation, sort of like adrenaline rush type thing. And so I'd probably like try to rush to like the different pools, seeing them, and I'd imagine that would probably lead further down into the now like expansive cavern passages.
Yeah. So as you go up to these pools and see all this stuff, it definitely you feel a tug on your leg once you get a certain distance, and there seems to be a chain, an iron chain. It's a bit rusted, and as you look to where it is, it seems to be chained to where your body was, and where your body still is.
What the hell?
That you are now, you're having an out-of-body experience of sorts.
Which reminds me of the last time I had. So the chain. I mean, I feel like I'm trying to probably push further beyond the chain, and then I notice it's tug. I look back, it's there, and you know, I catch a glimpse of it for a second, and it's not necessarily concerning. I feel like, because I have a bit of a steeled mind, and I have done similar things, so psychedelics and out-of-body experiences. So it would be the first time, and so I think with that combined, like hardiness of mind, and the previous. I'm trying to avoid the word experience. It's like so hard. The previous events that have occurred and what I've learned from them, I want to try and because you said it's quite rusty, so I might just try and yank my leg.
You are successful. Your willpower is strong enough, and your mind tears and snaps the chain at one of the rusty weak points.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say, and your mind tears and breaks, and I was like, oh no.
No, that comes later.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's still yet to come.
Okay, so you continue down into the cavern's chambers, you say?
Yeah, so I break it, and then there'll be I guess more pools of sweat memory, and I go up to them and be like, oh god, the time I had to do public speak in primary school. And I keep going, and I'm like,
Could you
oh
repeat
god.
that? You broke up for me. I don't know if it would have broken up on the recording, but
It's just so I break the chain, and then I rush up to the pools of saliva or sweat memories, and then I go and I'm like, oh god, it's the time I had to do public speaking in primary school.
God.
And then I'll keep running to the next one and just yeah, I'm assuming first passageway.
Okay. As you go through one of the passageways, you find yourself in the heat of the outback. The smell of sulfur is in the air. Giant walls of red stone, similar to Uluru, line the sides. A giant demon with 100 eyes crawls on the surface of the sky, holding a brass key.
A brass key.
Yes. You see people being dragged by their own rusted chains into the cliff sides. So many of them looking like you did back before you took the Thrill Seeker life.
Right.
And as they're being dragged into this solid stone, once engulfed in it, you see them becoming paintings on the rock face.
What kind of painting? Is it like the classic?
So I'm going to say in this instance that it looks like Aboriginal cave painting.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The ones specifically, I don't know if I can remember which part of it was. I was specifically thinking, I think it's in Queensland that has the mimmies, which
time to Google.
are sort of spiritual.
How do you spell mimmies? I looked up mimmies. What I tried to top 10 mimes for hire in Brisbane.
Oh, so it's just M-I-M-I.
Oh, okay. Because I did M-I-M-I-E-S, Queensland, and top 10 mimes for hire.
So it looks like the mimi art,
Okay.
where they're very humanoid in shape, but with inhuman proportion.
Right.
I think that was from Queensland, maybe. It was not. It is from in Northern Territory.
That makes sense.
So yes, that is the scene at which you find yourself. You do see some demons going around. They haven't noticed you yet.
So these are additional, other ones apart from the one in the sky with the key.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I'm kind of thinking, I'm supportive. As I'm looking around and I see the people, do I recognize any of them? Are they? Obviously, their faces are bleeding into different things, but if I were to look around, be like, oh hey, this is Jackson. This is someone else. This is someone.
Say maybe 10% are faces and body shapes you recognize.
I feel like
But many
I might lean
are
in.
people you do not know, or at least don't remember.
Okay. I might lean into the supportive side. Yeah, I might lean into the supportive side and I recognize a face that looks similar to Jackson, say in this case, or someone. and I'll go and like try and help break their chain or something.
Okay. As you touch the chains, you feel the very weight of their fears and responsibilities. The things that they feel are keeping them from living their lives properly. You see carved into these chains the names of... They seem to hold immense weight. You know that they are immensely weight, but you don't truly understand the significance of them yet. But there are 4 names there that I will say, out of character, are various exarchs.
Whoa.
I,
So
father,
EYE?
yes, like as in the thing with the 1,000 eyes looking upon you.
Okay.
Which is sort of like you're just looking at it, you feel judgment. So you've got the I, the father, the general, nemesis. And those are the things currently just completely chaining these people. And that sort of like feeling of oppression just sort of like tries... You see some of the chains try to wrap themselves around your hand and tries to drag you back in.
Oh, hell no. I already broke mine. Mine is rusty. These look rusted at all?
I'm gonna say that there are rusted points, yes. With the right effort, you could break them free.
I'm thinking, so... I'm trying to gauge how much of a good friend Jackson is.
I hope you don't let this person who totally is Jackson sway you.
You know, they're kind of like they could be. They look kind of like 10% or something. I'll take that. I'll take that risk.
Okay.
So they're my friend. I have to help them out. I don't want them to be bound by whatever names I just read. In character, I have no idea. Out of character.
Yeah. You know
They're
that
like
they
the
are, you
bad.
feel the oppression and you feel weight to them, but you don't know their significance yet. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously out of character. They're like the bad dudes.
They are the gods of tyranny itself, yes.
Yeah, I sort of remember some stuff about them. Not them themselves, but like the whole group of like
You
exiles.
remember dealing with seeds.
Yes, Seeds, that's right. That's what I was trying to do. Seeds, that's right. Anyway, I'll find the rusty part and I'm gonna yell to Jackson. 10% Jackson, sorry. Pull! And then while they're pulling, I'm also gonna pull with the like, try and break off the rusted segment and like break that bit.
Okay, you succeed, and then as soon as you do, the demon with the 100 eyes gazes upon you and roars.
Oh,
Suddenly,
yeah.
the demons that had not noticed you before in the streets notice you and begin to take chase.
Alright, well, looks like... I don't know, part of me is like... None of this is like entirely real, because it's like, you know, it's like psychoactive drugs. So I'm also like, oh, I'll like, they can't really do anything physically.
Yeah.
And so part of me is like, oh yeah, I'll just stay here, because like I feel that oppression and I'm like, oh yes, this makes sense for that. But like when it comes to hostility, there's not as much fear
They are not
than the other one.
They can only harm you if you decide they harm you.
Yeah, but then the other side is like, I don't know how much of the average experience this is compared, and so does it feel like more real? Is there more urgency with everything happening compared to average? Obviously it'll be more, but how much more? Like, what's the cutoff point?
I'm gonna say it's definitely still feels enough in your... It still feels in your mind.
Okay.
There is a truth underlying it, though.
In that case, I might sort of just hold my ground as they're rushing towards me and being like, I am above this, nothing, like, this is maybe, like, truthfulness, had like a greater sense. I am not this smart. I'm just going to stand my ground and be like, whoa, cool demon.
Okay. As they chase after you, they rush up. As they go to slice at you, and you hold your ground, their hands and claws break into just spiders. Their arms break, like, they cannot harm you, but the spiders are piling up and piling up. And soon you find yourself just in darkness. Then there is a sort of a line of towering pillars before you in this completely black space. Jackson is with you. Oh no.
That's why
Oh,
I didn't.
I thought I'd disconnected.
Oh, no, it's just Matt.
Yeah, no. I thought I must have disconnected at some point and reconnected. So this one is unfortunately going slightly over time. But I'm sure that won't be too much of an issue. So yes, you're in this dark space where there is a line of towering iron pillars. Guardian demons are striding around behind those pillars, sort of preventing you. You know that you won't be able to leave by default, but in your soul, you know that if you make your mark on these towering iron pillars, that you will escape. That your vision, your hallucination shall end, and all will be right.
Right.
How do you make your mark upon these towering iron pillars in this realm of darkness?
I'm thinking, like, in the realm of darkness, like, I sort of steel myself against the demons coming up, so I wasn't, like, this is not much more of a leap in fearfulness. As I've dealt with that, I'm just going to walk forward calmly towards the towers. Is there an inside, or are they just like sort of pillars, I guess?
They seem to be pillars, but when you touch them, they are hollow on the inside.
Okay. I mean, the only mark I can think of is vandalism. So I might start just trying to, like, because they're hollow, maybe just like just constantly kick at it, and
With
I don't know
that
if it's made of like metal, if it'll dent, if it's bricks and it'll collapse or something. But I'm gonna start kicking.
As you kick it, with each kick, you begin to understand deeply and instinctually more and more of the true nature of reality itself. And then you hear the tower fall, and suddenly you find yourself in a small jail cell with Jackson.
Jail?
Yes.
I wake up, I see Jackson, and I have the perfect gift for this. I'm sorry, viewers.
Also, you now have the powers of mind and space at your command.
Damn.
And find it very easy to potentially get out of this jail cell. And that is where we shall end this tale.
I'm arrested.
What for?
Well, which crime would you like to pick?
They were, from the perspective of everyone else, they were walking around the street like, basically like a wild, crazy person, obviously high on drugs, assaulting some people and like attacking. If there's like any rope or things like that, they would try and like tear it up. And
break the chains.
When the police came for them, they did not run; they stood their ground. All three of the awakenings so far have been the type of awakening where you're still in the mortal world, still doing physical things. So their actions did have slight consequences, or they did find themselves in unexpected locations by the end.
Neat.
That is not necessarily going to be true of Kim's awakening, though. So, Kim, you are walking home. Not sure if it's from a job or school. I can't remember. How old were you when you awakened?
It's been a while, so I don't really remember.
Well, you get to decide that now.
I'll say work. I'll say work.
Okay. So you're walking home from work, and you're going to take a little shortcut just through some of the small side alleys, just to save some time. And normally it's a pretty quiet area. Like, it's not a great side passage. It's normally got a lot of sort of garbage and very unclean type of area. But today there are some people in there. And it surprises you because it appears to be a fight between a Japanese man with a katana and a white man with a fancy old-fashioned colonial outfit.
What was this?
Totally normal thing to witness. This Japanese guy is trying to slice at the colonial person, but the colonial person seems to move at superhuman speed, and it hurts your head to look at it. Like, you're just looking at this speed of this colonial person creates a primordial fear in you of this is wrong. What do you do?
So I hide behind a bin, but I keep looking.
Okay, as you do, the Japanese man continues to try to continue their assault, and the colonial man then speaks words that you cannot understand that causes the streets themselves to attack. At first it looks like it's simply tries to warp the road to wrap around his legs, but then the spell goes wild. Out of character, this is because a sleeper, Kim, is witnessing a obvious magic and causing it to paradox.
Oh no.
Suddenly, rather than merely that part of the street going wild and attacking the guy, the whole alleyway begins to have hands reach out, made from bits of brick, bits of dirt, glass. All these things just sort of like come out and try to grasp. Some of them try to grab you. What do you do?
I guess I'll try and run if freaky shit like this is happening.
Grabs onto your arm and leg. You are unable to leave immediately.
Just any like sticks or anything, or anything I can grab. That's not the
I'd
hands.
say yeah. I'd say yes.
I'll try whacking the things off of me.
As you do that, you create some noise, which leads to a distraction in the fight between the Japanese man and the colonial person.
Oh no.
And one of the street hands ends up disarming the Japanese person.
Oh no.
The sword finds itself at your feet and is within your reach.
Oh, I guess I'll grab it.
Okay. And I assume you use it to break free of the arms.
If it works.
It does. Though, I assume you continue to run.
Well, does the guy want the sword or?
So you look back to see if he needs the sword, and you see a street arm basically burst its way through his chest, like through the super punch, and he falls over dead.
Okay, I guess I'll run. I'm sorry.
You end up getting home. It didn't seem like he was able to catch the whichever guy the colonial person was. They don't seem to have chased you down. At least by the time you look back and check if he's there.
Okay.
You're at home safe now with a sword.
Hmm.
Sword that even if you like go to put it down for a second, you feel that like, oh, I should pick up that sword again sometime soon.
Yes. In case the colonel guy tries to kill me, I need to figure out how to do magic with this sword. You could give it a swing. Does anything happen?
It seems to be immensely well balanced, and even though you're not experienced with swords, this katana, you can swing it so well. It is as if it is innately instinctual for you. You feel safe holding this. And now I will say that as you're doing this, subtly, you don't actively know this in character, at least at this stage, but your memories of that fight are shifted and become mundane explanations of what you saw. You saw a fight happening, the person got disarmed completely non-magically, and the traumatic parts weren't anything to do with magic, it was just the violence. Because the sleeping curse is convincing you that magic does not exist. But you still know that there's some danger, and that the sword makes you feel safe and secure. And swinging it feels really good.
That's nice to know. Can I remember what the clone guy's face looked like at all? So in case I need to
You
recognize
can
them.
remember the non-magical details fine.
Okay.
So you know if they knock at the door that they're like, oh yeah, that's the person.
I guess I'm gonna have to quit my job for now and hide out at home. I can't take the sword everywhere, and I can't leave it home when I go to work.
Okay.
So
Over the next few days, you're gonna find that your dreams become filled with violence and monstrosity.
as you do.
Probably, you probably assume it's just I saw violence recently, but as you also wield the sword and practice with it, for self-defense purposes, of course.
Yep.
You start to get, whenever there's any inconvenience, your first thought starts to become, kill them. Kill that inconvenience. If someone is very noisy next door, that becomes your very first instinct.
Curse sword.
It perhaps is a curse sword. What do you do? So are you noticing? Do you think you would notice this desire is not necessarily natural?
Maybe I'm just sleep deprived and have a short fuse at the moment.
Perhaps.
I
Slowly these desires will just get stronger and stronger. Blade wants you to kill something.
Is it getting overpowering?
To a degree, it is. You can resist it, but you would need to find some loophole or outlet. You know that you can't give it up at this stage as well. The sword desires someone's death. It doesn't care who.
I guess I could. Can I dark urge it and just look for a criminal of sorts?
Yeah.
Not quite sure what to. Am I familiar enough with this? I probably am familiar, but how will I stumble upon?
I mean, it's an age of gangs, so I'm fine with you taking a bit of time and finding some area that is high gang violence.
Okay, I guess I'll stake out and wait for my chance to stab some unsuspecting gangster or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna say after that wait, you eventually find it. You find your opportunity. You take it. You slice someone down, but they were not alone.
I know.
You find yourself sliced in a lethal manner across the neck, choke on your own blood, and die.
I know.
You find yourself in a dark place. Beach of dust and dull metal sand. The waters of this beach are blood that is cold as ice.
Is this hell? Is this what the Christian was talking about?
You find no answer, but the silence of the wind.
Is there water to the beach?
Yep, there is water, it's just looks like blood.
Oh.
It doesn't seem to be moving in or out. It is perfectly still. There is no current.
I guess I'll walk along the beach, find out where I am.
As you walk along, you find giant bones, creatures that are impossibly large, and beside them, swords of giants that have been blunted and rusted away. As you travel, you notice that your body is breaking down. Eventually, all you are is bone.
Gross. How can I see?
I'm going to say that you don't know innately, it's still coming out of your eyes, but you can go up to the bloods to look at your reflection and see how you're seeing.
I guess I'll look at my blood reflection.
As you do, you see there's something where the sockets are empty. You see a gleam of something shining. You're not sure if it's just under the reflection or in, like, physically where your eye sockets were. There's something shining there, a metallic gleam. The first, like, sign of real light, I guess, you've seen this whole time.
I reach into the blood.
You find the tip of a blade that would have harmed you if you still had flesh, but now just skates past your bone fingers.
To pick it up. Can I pick it up?
Yes. As you do, you find it is a sword that looks like the katana that you used and had driven you to bloodlust, but it seems quiet. The blade doesn't desire any more blood anymore. It seems sated. And now, as you're holding this, you find you are no longer at the beach. You are before a blue metal tower, very light blue. It appears to be made of solid, clean, unoxidized lead. And there, where a door is what looks to be a sheath.
For a door?
Instead of a door, there's, like, where you would expect, like, a door handle or something, there is a normal-sized sheath.
Okay, I guess. My powers of deduction.
Use those 2 dots of intelligence.
Thinking, I guess I'll try and open the door with this blade.
By attacking it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm assuming you put the sword in the sheath.
Yeah, well, hopefully I don't need to abandon it. Do I need to abandon the sword?
Put it in. It is locked in place. And the lead sort of slides open. But within, your moment of disappointment at the, I liked that sword. I mean, I didn't like the sword, but, I liked the sword. Yeah, so you have that moment of disappointment, but then inside is a panoply of just so many weapons. This tower is spirals and spirals, and its walls are covered in weapons. Some you didn't even know existed.
Okay, I guess I gotta enter.
As you enter, you know in your soul that everything will be right once you take the weapons that you must, the weapons that are you. And once you leave with those weapons, things will be calm, things will be satisfying. What weapons do you take?
Is there any one of them calling for me, or?
I'm going to say there are 2 weapons that come to my mind.
Clearly I need to pick the scythe.
Oh god. Out of character, I was definitely assuming you were going to take the Kim and the Do, the Jean and the Dao.
That's probably the canon one.
So yeah, what weapons do you take from this vast tower? You can take your time to gaze, walk its halls and see. You will see some weapons that haven't actually been invented yet, but you probably don't really understand them.
I guess I'll latch on to the familiar, the Kim and the dough.
Okay, so you walk out with the Kim and the dough, the Shan and the Dao, and you find yourself not in the alley where you killed the person and got killed, but in a nearby building with a Japanese man who is not the one that died earlier. He says that he is Masamune, is that his name?
I think so. It was the blacksmith one.
Yes. And
Masamune, I think it was.
he has the curse on his waist. And he is surprised and impressed that you were able to resist as long as you did, though is disappointed that it does seem that you did succumb.
But, is this the same dude or a different one?
So this is not the dude who died earlier,
Okay.
but it is a different Japanese guy. And he'll fill you in on basically what just happened, that you have awakened, that you are of the Moros path, you have just passed through Stygia itself during your own death. You can feel at your neck and there is no cut, though your clothes are still stained with your own blood. He tells you of Mage Society and about the Exarchs. He would also going to tell you that the blade that you were using is a cursed one, made by a sinister blacksmith long ago.
I should be able to resist it now that I have powered, right?
Maybe one day. Now, I can see about giving you the help you need. Right now, you are still too dangerous to touch such a blade. I think that's where we shall end the awakenings.
Okay.
That figure does become your mentor, and is still denying you at the time of our actual campaign. Is still denying you the sword that you had earlier.
What must I do to prove myself?
Murder.
Do more murder, yes, of course.
That'll show that I can handle the murder sword.
I
You
mean,
have to give in to its words.
prove that you can do a murder.
Prove that you can do more than one murder. It wasn't just an isolated incident.
One murder, anyone could do that.
So yeah, I hope people enjoyed their awakening scenes. I tried to make them trippy, but still at least vaguely understandable.
I'm in prison.
I did not hear whatever Mike just said.
I'm in prison.
Oh yeah, you did end up in. Well, you ended up in jail with the G spelling.
Oh my god, it's a gale?
You're in a gale, yes,
Is that how
We
it's
are
spelled in the
available.
1920s?
because it comes from English spelling.
Wow. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just we just assume because all our cartoons all said jail in the American way.